I was just going to say, real loud 3,000 students.
That's right. Very enthusiastic for sure. Baylor in gold gets the opening tap, and we are underway. Baylor and Utah Tech here in Foster Pavilion.
Oh, interesting. Utah Tech starting out in the zone. They're normally a man-to-man team, so a little switch here in what Baylor was expecting.
Three from the left side, shot no good, off the mark by Bella Fauntleroy. Ball goes out of bounds, and to Utah Tech.
Yeah, you spoke about the zone. It'll just be interesting to see if they're forcing Baylor to shoot the three and kind of keep their bigs out of the paint for easy baskets.
Well, that's a good point, Jordan. Everybody now concentrating on Vonleh inside for Baylor.
There's the starters for Utah Tech. Out of the whack, a steal on the perimeter by Jada Walker. Ends with a layup for the first points of the day.
Jada Walker showing her great quickness there, playing tight in the passing lane, getting the first turnover of the game against Utah Tech.
Now, safe to say we'll see a lot of threes from the Trailblazers today, right, Jordan?
Yes, they like to get them up. They like to get them up fast. It all starts with Hartley at the point guard. She is pushing the pace and finding her teammates.
There's a drive to the bucket, and the basket is good. That's Ibarra with two, the first two for Utah Tech.
Ibarra's a very interesting story. She's only started one game, the last one for Utah Tech, but she is their leading scorer on the season. Nice drive.
So a 2-2 game, entry pass to Erinette Vonleh. And out of bounds, they say, off of Vonleh, so over to Utah Tech.
Well, Jordan, there's what you were talking about. They're sagging in quickly on Vonleh. I think Baylor's going to have to learn to expect that every game. She's going to get double and triple teamed immediately.
Hartley brings it into the front court. Three-pointer blocked on the perimeter by Bella Fauntleroy. She blocked the shot of Emily Isaacson. Layup at the other end, no good. Jada Walker comes away with the offensive rebound. Walker, mid-range jumper, shot no good. Isaacson the rebound. Hartley driving in, shot blocked by Fauntleroy, but a foul is called on Bella Fauntleroy.
Well, Fauntleroy almost picking up her second block of the game. By far, Fauntleroy is the leading shot blocker for this Baylor team. Let's take a look at how she does it. Great timing right there, but there she picked up the foul, but the possession before got the clear block.
I think you can see there on that drive, Jordan, that Hartley is she's unafraid. I mean, she's not going to be scared away, even though she stands 5'3".
Yeah, Hartley's only 5'3", but she is lightning fast, and she is looking to push the ball. She is not afraid of contact. She is not afraid of bigger defenders. So just because she missed, she's not going to stop driving to the basket.
That's amazing, John. That young lady's taken 83 free throws on the year. The next closest on her team is 23 attempts.
Yeah.
Pretty easy scouting report.
1 of 2 with 1 point lead for Utah Tech. Jumper, mid-post, left side is good. First 2 of the day for Dariana Littlepage Buggs.
Yeah, that's just what you get from her. You can get consistency from 12 feet in. She's pretty good, almost automatic. So if Baylor's going to be able to get the ball to the middle of the court, they can break the zone.
There's a three by Nicole Willardson. Willardson, tallest player on the floor at 6'4" for Utah Tech, but that'll show you everyone out there will shoot the three.
Oh, good defense right there by Utah Tech, getting out on Bella Fauntleroy quickly, known as a good pure shooter.
Yeah, just really good. We talked about Hartley and her ability. Vonleh doesn't get all the way out. This team is trying to shoot the three. They're going to put them up. They're not going to make all of them, but they're going to continue to put them up and see them go through.
Well, this Trailblazer team, one of the few ball clubs I've ever seen that actually takes more three-point shots than two-point shots. Quite an unusual style.
Doesn't seem possible, but that's what the numbers tell you. And there's another one, and Emily Isaacson knocks down the three for a 9-4 Utah Tech lead.
Well, that was the emphasis of the Baylor scouting report. Get out quickly on their three-point shooters. Baylor has not done that the last 2 times down the floor for the Trailblazers.
Now on the perimeter, Ibarra guilty of the foul. So Utah Tech #1 in the nation in three-point attempts. They're #3 in the nation in made threes. 5th in threes made per game. They average 10.5 made threes per game. and second in the nation in 3 attempts per game. They average 34 3-point attempts per game.
Really nice job by Bugs that time, flashing into the middle of the zone again, that time reversing sides of the floor for the open shot.
Willardson looks to drive in, travels with it, turnover, Trailblazers.
Yeah, really good defense by Vonleh right there. She closed out far enough to stop the three. They rather than put the ball on the floor and drive it, because that is not their strength. They want to shoot the three.
Yeah, she came out very disciplined and under control. I was impressed with that. Her defense has really improved since she started the season.
Sarah Andrews, she knows a thing or two about three-pointers. Missed on that, but the offensive rebound leads to the putback by Little Paige Bugs.
Yeah, second chance points are going to be big for Baylor today. They have the height advantage inside. You have a double-double machine in Dariana, and so just a good look to her down low.
Well, and she exhibited great quickness. For her size, that's a tough matchup for any defense. You can see how strong this Baylor offense is going to be when they consistently knock down their three-point shots.
Third turnover by the Trailblazers early on. Baylor looks to take advantage. Bears down 9-6. Walker on the perimeter to the free throw line. Back to Fauntleroy. Three is no good.
Well, Baylor's getting good shots. That's the key. They're moving it well against the Utah Tech zone.
Jordan, is there a danger at all when you play a team that shoots that many threes to kind of fall into the trap and you start putting up a lot of threes also?
Yeah, I think it's Utah Tech shooting the threes, but it's also the way they're playing their defense. They're okay with them shooting the threes right now because they're not hurting them, and I think Baylor is settling when they could possibly get a better shot on the inside.
Well, there they go. They go down to Vonleh, and she is fouled. She'll go to the free throw line.
Well, Baylor opens every game this season looking for Vonleh on the block. Every team is going to be prepared for that, so Baylor has to move the ball quickly and probably reverse sides of the floor with the ball to get her the open moves on the block quickly. Vonleh at the free throw line is not a good free throw shooter, only 55% on the year. And in fact, this Baylor team, they have got to improve on their overall team free throw shooting, only hitting 65% on the year, so that will be a point of emphasis.
Vonleh 55%, but she hits both of them there. So Baylor pulls within one after a 6-0 run by the Trailblazers. Baylor's pulled back within one. Off the bench, Ellie Taylor is out there for Utah Tech.
Yeah, I believe they got Sarah Andrews for that quick reach right there. She was ready for the three-point shot, a little too tight.
Taylor inbounding, gets the ball in the hands of Nicole Willardson.
Oh, good job. Look at this matchup out front between Jada Walker and Hartley. How fun is that to watch?
That's going to be fun. Leads to the turnover, the fourth here in the first quarter by Utah Tech. Three by Andrews is in from the left-hand corner.
That's what she can do. You get her wide open look, she can knock it down. I think the more she sees the ball go through the basket, the better for Baylor.
Yeah, great ball movement. Quick pass from Fauntleroy to that corner.
Taylor a drive pass into the corner, but it goes out of bounds. Turnover Utah Tech. Baylor has taken the lead on a 7-0 run.
Yeah, just a really good set from Utah Tech. Isaacson steps in, knocks it down. This is what they want to do. They get the threes up, they knock it down right there, and just the extra pass to Sarah. Threes are falling early today in Foster in front of this great crowd.
Trying to build on that for this season. 18 wins last year. Did you notice included a win over Oregon? Their one and only Power 4 victory, but a big win over Oregon. Back to play here. Three off the mark by Sarah Andrews. Here's Hartley on the run out. Hartley picked up by Jada Walker.
I like the way Hartley backs out there and studies the floor, trying to figure out the best move for her teammates. Oh, great backdoor cut that time. I like the way Crittenden broke behind the Baylor defense.
Lost the handle on the ball, another turnover. That's 5 in the first quarter by Utah Tech. Second bounce on the rim, threw off the timing of Yaya Felder going for that offensive rebound. So it goes out of bounds and over to the Blazers.
Little Paige Buggs continues to have the green light from the coaching staff for that three-point shot, something she didn't try at all last year, but she's worked hard on developing that phase of her game.
Yaya Felder and Kyla Abraham off the Baylor bench at that timeout. In the paint area, that's Willardson. She has her shot blocked by Kyla Abraham.
Well, this is nice defense by Abraham this time. Kind of went for the ball fake, but how about that reaction, getting back and getting her big-time block there. That's her 14th of the year.
Miley Graham off the bench for Utah Tech. And gives the ball away to Taylor. Looks to drive. And blocked.
Doing a good job of just staying down, staying in front, not going for the fakes. Utah Tech is using multiple moves, trying to get underneath them, and they're doing a good job of just staying straight up with their hands up.
As a former player, you know that's easier said than done to not go for those fakes. You were a good defensive player. I remember that, so you know what you're talking about.
The shot clock violation by Utah Tech, so that'll go as a turnover. Baylor has the ball back with the lead, 11-9. Baylor on a 7-0 run to build the lead. Jada Walker, three, and it's good from the left corner.
Just a good use of a high ball screen in the zone, using the high post to kind of get the defense to suck in and pass out, and Jada does a good job of knocking the three down.
Boy, as quick as Jada is on the drive, that is sensational. She starts knocking down those threes consistently.
Nice move, nice drive there by Ellie Taylor, but she missed the layup. Couldn't get the offensive rebound. And Baylor gives it back. Nikki Collin on the Baylor bench in her 4th season as the Baylor head coach.
Yeah, she's been successful. She's had 3 20-win seasons, working on her 4th. I think she's just really found her team, been able to get all the players that she wants to get in here and hopefully surpass that Sweet 16 run they had a season ago.
Baylor sitting at 9-2 on the season. Again, the Big 12 opener comes up this Saturday. Baylor on the road at Kansas.
How about those quick hands right there by little Paige Buggs? I like that. Baylor's pressure defense today making an impact in this first quarter of action.
Wyatt Jennings is out there. They call her Wise Jennings. Transfer from Collin College. And there's a turnover by the Bears. Steal. Layup attempt is blocked by Fauntleroy.
Well, did they call the block or did they call a foul?
I think it was a foul.
They did get the foul. Fauntleroy, who of course leads the Baylor team in blocked shots. Let's take a look here. Baylor making the errant bounce pass out front, and nice job by Ibarra jumping into that passing lane and drawing the foul on the other end. This young lady, as she goes to the stripe, recently hit 36 points on the road at McNeese State down in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So she is quite a talent. I mentioned earlier she's only had 1 start. That was the last game against UT El Paso, but she is the leading scorer for this team.
She has led them in scoring 5 of the last 6 games. Couple of free throws there. And it's 14-10, Baylor on top. So 3/4 court pressure by the Blazers. Shooting over that zone defense is Walker. No good, but Von Lay, the rebound and the putback, and she is fouled.
Great hands by Von Lay that time, where she went up in traffic and brought that ball back down very, very aggressively.
For those threes early, I feel like in the shot clock, to where you can get it down low, but when you don't make the shot, you have 2 post players down there to get the rebound.
Well, it's a big lineup for Baylor on the floor right now when you have Von Lay and Kyla Abraham both in there.
First free throw is good. She's 3 of 3 at the line, and shouldn't have mentioned that. This is for the first time in 4 attempts, but the rebound pulled down by Jennings. Baylor keeps it there half of the floor. There's up 15-10 on Utah Tech. Utah Tech from St. George, Utah. Beautiful part of the state of Utah and beautiful part of the country.
You know, they actually play in the Western Athletic Conference. Several teams from Texas in that league. Jordan, you used to coach in that league at UT Arlington.
Yeah, it's a tough league to play because you're going all the way from Texas to California, up to Utah, up to Washington. So that's a tough league to play in. You're just changing time zones, having to adjust not only to playing on the road, but everything else that's involved in it.
Sounds like the new look Big 12. When you talk about changing
or
time
any
zones.
conference.
Well, that's true.
How
Most
about
of
the
them
Big
now.
10 from
LA
right to New Jersey, Rutgers.
Inbounds, Felder open three is no good. Abraham missed the putback. Baylor another offensive rebound. Boy, Baylor's living on the offensive glass right now.
Doing a great job of getting the position as these long shots go up.
1 minute to go in the first quarter. Entry pass to Von Lay, who banks it home.
Oh, great pass by Yaya Felder all the way across the paint. Good eyes, good court vision.
Yeah, good pass, but that wouldn't be possible if Von Lay didn't make herself available, which I think is important. It's a two-way street, someone wanting the ball and someone giving the ball.
Guys, Jennings the steal on the perimeter and is fouled on the layup attempt by Emily Isaacson.
Baylor continuing to do a very nice job jumping into these passing lanes, and they're actually playing very aggressively one pass away, so they're in the position to create havoc for this Utah Tech offense. That's the 10th turnover already in this first quarter for Utah Tech.
It's not a good average going.
Well, I think that's a good indicator of how aggressively this Baylor defense is playing, and it's paying dividends.
Couple of free throws by Jennings. 19-10, the Baylor lead. 40 seconds to play in this opening quarter. Kaylee Ika is on the floor for Utah Tech. Another turnover, and the Bears come away with it. A couple of seconds difference in the clocks. Baylor could play for the final shot of the quarter right here. Sarah Andrews. Free pass to Buggs. Kick out, extra pass, Andrews for three at the buzzer is good.
How about perfect spacing, great ball movement, terrific last seconds for the Bears in the end of this first quarter.
More threes.
We talked about this Utah Tech team, one of the top volume three-point shooting teams in the country. They took 9 threes in the first quarter. Baylor took 12. So role reversal here. And how about that knockdown by Yaya Felder? Baylor continuing. That's their 4th three of the game.
Yeah, beating them at their own game right now. That's a 21-1 run by Baylor to build the lead to 25-10. Pressure by Buggs defensively. Isaacson gets the ball away to Crittenden.
Well, Baylor doing a great job with their hands defensively today, moving them quickly, creating a lot of havoc for the Trailblazers. Great defense right there, that entire 30-second possession by Baylor.
Yeah, I know Coach Green is over there smiling. You know, that's his thing is the defense. So on the inside, he's not cheering too much because he wants to see it for 40 minutes, but he should be proud of that possession right there.
Absolutely.
Jennings for three, and it's good from the right wing.
I got a feeling Utah Tech's going to be out of that zone pretty quick.
Another three by the Bears, and that's an air ball, goes out of bounds untouched by Lauren Crocker.
Just another look at the Jennings three. They get confused. They've been trying to play this zone, but they haven't been matching up, and Baylor has been taking advantage.
Well, that's a good point, Jordan. Baylor's doing a very nice job of reading the reaction of this Utah Tech zone and getting the ball in the right place quickly.
Okay, another huge factor, 11 turnovers by Utah Tech already here in the first half.
Yeah, and only 3 for Baylor,
right.
So that's a big reason for this 18-point advantage for the Bears early.
Three right side, misses badly. Sarah Andrews.
Remember, Utah Tech made 2 threes on their first 3 possessions. They've only made 1 since then.
Oh, nice pass. And the assist from Andrews. Bugs with the bucket.
Yeah, and sometimes Utah Tech is getting open looks because they were stopping Baylor early in the game, so they got those transition, they got early offense. Now they're having to play in the half court because they are unable to stop Baylor, and it kind of slows the game down for them.
Another near steal on the perimeter. Yaya Felder on the defensive side. Lauren Crocker with the ball. Transfer from Utah State. Crittenden has her shot swatted away.
Well, what great reaction by Vonleh, not known as a shot blocker. Second straight defensive stand for Baylor, forcing the 30-second shot violation. Watch Vonleh come across here. Great reaction, going straight up, getting the block. Third Baylor player to block a shot early on in this game.
I think that's the third straight shot clock, or not third straight, but third this half shot clock violation by Utah Tech. That Baylor defense is dialed in this morning. Shot, no.
3-second shot clock, 3-second lane violation. Good officiating crew. That was the right call. Nakisha Thompson made that call. She's working with Maggie Tiemann and Missy Brooks here this morning.
Wiped out another made 3. Drive by Hartley. Shot is good and a foul.
Well, Hartley showing that great speed and quickness that she possesses, and no surprise when she goes to the free throw line. Look at her just blow by Jennings out front. Great quickness. Mentioned earlier, averaging about 8 free throw attempts per game. She's actually number 4 in the nation in total free throw attempts. 8th in average attempts per game.
Hartley from Harlem, New York, a transfer from Niagara. Adds the free throw, 3-point play, then gets knocked to the floor by her teammate, headed up the floor. There's Andrews, and she knocks down another 3.
Yeah, sometimes it only takes Sarah to see one go into the basket, so her getting them up early, seeing them fall early is a recipe for good success for this Baylor team.
Third made 3 in the half, 9 points in the first half, 4 assists for Sarah Andrews.
Jordan, I find it interesting. You, of course, played as a teammate of Sarah Andrews here. How has you seen her game develop the most from the time you played with her?
Yeah, I think she's been challenged to be counted on more. On our team, we had a lot of talented players, and we all work together, but I think they look to her now more and depend on her more now. So just her growth and her leadership and her decision-making on the court.
Bugs with the rebound and the putback. She's got 8 in the half. Baylor leads 35-13 with 6 minutes to play in the second quarter. Crittenden on the perimeter. Fauntleroy has her defensively. Shot clock down to 3, puts it up.
That was great on-ball defense by Bella Fauntleroy. Just kept sliding those feeds, never reached. Just beautiful job.
Yeah, Dariana just doing what she does, getting inside position, putting herself in a great position to not only, like we talked about, she's a double-double machine because she can get the rebound and she can finish when she gets the rebound.
8 points, 3 rebounds at this point for Little Paige Bugs. How about Vonleh, 5 points, 6 rebounds in the first half for Vonleh. Kick of the ball. Little inbound with a fresh 20 on the shot clock. 5:26 on the game clock, second quarter. Glad you're with us for some matinee women's basketball in the Big 12 from Foster Pavilion in Waco. Nice, easy inbounds pass. Bugs misses the mid-range jumper. Here's Hartley on the perimeter. Ball away to Ibarra. Fauntleroy sticking with her defensively. Tried to bounce the pass, stolen by Fauntleroy. Another turnover. but just beyond midcourt, Baylor gives it back.
Yeah, Baylor gets it back again. Wow. Jada Walker, those quick hands. Great job running the floor by little Paige Buggs. Speed and quickness paying off for the Bears.
So teams trade turnovers there. Baylor comes away with a bucket. 37-13 is the Baylor lead. 21 points off turnovers by Baylor.
Yeah, Utah Tech just looks really uncomfortable right now. They're not getting any shots off. Baylor's really up getting into them defensively and forcing them low into the shot clock.
Yeah, that's 15 turnovers already by Utah Tech here in the first half. Fauntleroy for three, and it's good. Her first made three today.
Well, Bella Fauntleroy needs to see that ball go through the net. In my opinion, she's the best three-point
that Baylor may need if they're down or looking for someone, like we said last game, a microwave. You need somebody who can come in and kind of get points quickly.
Be fun to watch, and hopefully she'll be in uniform on Saturday. Not today. There's a three on the perimeter by Emily Isaacson. Jim Aaliyah Matharu, second in the SEC in scoring last year at Florida.
Well, she's exceptionally quick, John, and I know Baylor is depending on her feistiness on defense as well as offense. Yes, she did average 19 points per game in the Southeastern Conference last year, but her energy is going to be important for this team.
So a foul on that rebound, and actually not a foul, just went out of bounds. So Baylor's going to inbound, leading 40-16 over Utah Tech.
Yeah, Baylor's terrific on-ball defense is the difference in this game. You mentioned earlier, John, Utah Tech already has 15 turnovers. Must have some issue with the shot clock or the time clock.
Maybe the shot clock. They put 20 up there, so
yeah.
Talking to Kim Scott over there. Allison Dillon's there. They're going to get it corrected.
Yaya Felder will be on the throw-in for Baylor. When she's throwing it in, look for her to get the ball back pretty quickly, oftentimes, because she's so good offensively. But how about that? Great execution by Baylor. Jennings getting her second three-point shot of the ball game.
So that was officially a two by Jennings. She's
wow,
inside
like
the arc.
Wow.
And a steal by Jennings on the perimeter. Head fake, basket up and in. Back-to-back baskets by Wise Jennings.
Yeah, this is a good sign for Baylor going into conference. It's going to take an entire team with the tough schedule that's ahead. So it's good to see players like Wise getting her confidence in this game.
Every time Jennings comes in the ball game, she seems to make an instant impact. Each time we've seen her this year, she's done good things quickly.
Already season high points for Wise Jennings. Three, partially blocked by Kyla Abraham. There's racking up some block shots here in the first half today. Good ball movement. Felder's three just short. Chases down her own miss. Runner is good by Yaya Felder.
Yaya Felder, a great energy player. Always like to remind everybody that great tournament she had in the Bahamas when she made 5 out of 7 threes and made the all-tournament team. Just really important factor with this Baylor ball club.
Hartley's three was
How
short.
about that?
On the mark for Fauntleroy.
When it rains, it pours. You just have to see one person make it, and everyone starts gaining the confidence to knock it down.
There's another run going by the Bears. 9-0 run over the last minute and a half to build the lead to 49-16. Baylor has 49 points on the board with just under 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. Three by Young is short. Jada Walker, Jennings again. This is a three. It's no good. Jada Walker gets the offensive
Weaving
rebound.
her way between the legs.
And Fauntleroy knocks down another triple. Wow, the Bears are lighting it up from outside the arc here in the first
Fauntleroy
half.
came into today's game hitting 28% of her threes. Much better three-point shooter than that. Now she's hit 3 in a row. I've got a feeling this is going to be a big confidence builder for her.
Baylor in the first half is now 9 of 22, 41% shooting threes, but they've made 9 three-pointers. Abraham the rebound, final minute, second quarter. There's a reach and a grab and a foul on Emily Isaacson.
And we'll just take another look at these. Jennings went on a run of her own, then Bella said, I could do the same thing. And here she comes, just rotates over, creates a passing lane for her teammate, knocks it down. She started the day 0 for 5 from 3 and just continued to stay in it and shoot confidently.
Well, it's 10 points already here in the first half. Under a minute to play, inbound. Fauntleroy's short jumper is good.
How about that? Fauntleroy now in double-figure scoring for the Bears.
That's her first non-three-point shot from the floor. Pass to the perimeter is past Miley Graham and out of bounds. Turnover, Utah Tech.
Yeah, Baylor has 2 double-figure scorers. Bella Fauntleroy with 11. Little Paige Buggs with 10. Not far behind, Sarah Andrews has 9, and Wise Jennings already has 9 on the morning.
Drive in, tries to stop, but a traveling call on Utah Tech's Ellie Taylor, the freshman.
Yeah, Baylor's size is just continuing to bother them. I think this is a great defensive half for Baylor. They have stayed down, they haven't fouled, and they've caused Utah Tech to turn the ball over.
Jordan, how about 18 turnovers? 18 in the first half by Utah Tech.
Yeah, you contrast that with Baylor only has 6, so there's 12 more possessions going to Baylor.
They were playing for the final shot of the half. It goes to Abraham. She banks it in at the buzzer. Baylor has 54 on the board in the first 20 minutes today. Make it 50.
I see a couple dogs out there.
Yes. Balloon hats. That's pretty cool. All right, here we go.
As Baylor has been the entire game, tough half-court man-to-man defense continues.
Willardson driving on Vonleh, and her reverse shot is no good. Vonleh stayed right with her. Baylor 52% overall in the first half from the floor. Utah Tech 25% field goal percentage shooting. Oh, nice give and go. Fauntleroy to Buggs. Ball knocked out of bounds.
It appears that Utah Tech's coming out man-to-man here to start this second half. I believe in that short possession for Baylor, they were man-to-man.
Trying a little something different, huh? Start the third quarter. Andrews inbounds to Jada Walker. Vonleh's going to kick it outside. 3 to shoot. Jada Walker's got to put it up. Finally does. Ooh, and she drew the foul. With 4/10 of a second on the shot clock.
Good example of Jada Walker's quickness right there. She's knocked down a 3 ball. They're out on her very tightly. She wisely drove to the bucket in the last second of this possession. Watch right here. Good crossover dribble. Nice strong move to the basket to go back to the charity line. Not many free throws shot in this game so far. Baylor just shot 6 the first half, and Utah Tech only 5. So not many whistles so far in the first 20 minutes.
I have no doubt that Jada Walker knew where they were on the shot clock also. You know, it was winding down. She had the ball in her hands. I think a veteran player like Jada. She knew
Jada,
exactly.
one of 5 1,000-point scorers on this team.
Hartley.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Hartley fires the ball to Crittenden, who muscles it up and in with a foul.
Yeah, this young lady averages 8 points per game. That was a very strong move. Looked like Buggs had good defensive position. Take a look at this use of the left hand. Crittenden going up very strong. Aggressive foul. Said not many free throws so far. Well, we're getting them quickly to start this second half.
Buggs' first personal foul. Crittenden wiping out the cobwebs a little bit before she shoots the free throws. Crittenden's first points of the day, maybe a contact lens issue. Yep, looks like it is, so we'll get that corrected before she shoots the free throws. So we mentioned the start of Big 12 conference play, first time ever before Christmas conference games. For the WAC, they'll start a little more traditional January 9th for Utah Tech. They'll open at UT Arlington on January 9th is their WAC opener.
Now, fortunately for Baylor, John, after they go to Kansas, they have their next two conference games right here at home against Colorado and I forgot who that.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So that'll be certainly a fun way to start the new year.
Free throw by Crittenden. 20/20 vision. She knocks it down. Her first 3 points of the day. 56 points at halftime, by the way. Second most for Baylor in a half this season.
Baylor has been over the century mark 3 times and close with 98 in another game. So this is a high-scoring Baylor offense for sure.
Walker around the screen of Vonleh. All the way to the baseline. Passes out of there. Out of Buggs, turnaround jumper, sweet looking shot.
Yeah, that's a good shot by Buggs. You saw Baylor's looking to be intentional and kind of run through their offense and run through their sets. You have this giant lead, so that's an opportunity to kind of look to see what shots you can get with your execution.
60-19 is the Baylor advantage. Ibarra picks up her dribble. Gets it away to Crittenden, but stolen away. Buggs with the steal. Buggs to Vonleh. Up and in for Aaronette Vonleh.
Well, first time Baylor's had the opportunity to get into her since early in the ball game. Nice recognition of Utah Tech playing behind her defensively.
7 points, 6 rebounds by Vonleh in the game today. Crittenden picks up her dribble. Buggs all over her. Errant pass, turnover, Utah Tech.
Yeah, this is a really good play. Breaks down, Buggs flashes to the ball and uses her size advantage to just rise over the defense. She has really expanded her game. You talked about how she can shoot the 3 now. She's more confident in that fadeaway shot as well.
Well, as we all know, you as a former player especially, confidence is a big, big part of every player.
Entry pass to Vonleh again, puts it up and in.
A terrific job by Vonleh reading the defense. Just spun over that left shoulder. Nobody there. Easy basket. 2 in a row for Vonleh.
62-21 is the Baylor advantage. Isaacson gets the ball away to Willardson on the right wing. Hartley with a 3, it's no good.
Nice long offensive rebound by Ibarra that time for the Trailblazers.
Willardson cut off by Vonleh. Entry pass knocked away by Fauntleroy.
Well, Isaacson tried that backdoor cut, but nice defense continuing for Baylor. I think this is the best I've seen Baylor's on-ball defense all year. It's been very, very good.
Yeah, really locked in too, don't you think? Even with a big lead.
Yeah, very intentional what they are trying to do here today.
Hartley inbounds. There's Taylor. And a travel and another turnover on Utah Tech. That is now 20 on the day, 21 on the day, turnover-wise for Utah Tech. Fauntleroy gives the ball away. Sarah Andrews. Back to Fauntleroy for 3. No good. Back iron. Taylor the rebound.
Boy, from where we sit, that looked good all the way. Barely long off to that back iron.
And a steal by Buggs, turnover number 22. Bears give it right back to the Trailblazers.
Baylor's pressure defense continuing here. As you mentioned, John, regardless of the score, they're continuing an emphasis on ball pressure.
10 to shoot, ball knocked away. Sarah Andrews leads the charge. Andrews, the dish to Buggs. Up and in for the fast break bucket.
Well, a very unselfish play by Sarah Andrews. She could have easily taken that ball on in, but got it to the double-double machine.
She is, and Hartley on the other end just takes it right down the middle. Nobody stopped her. Just goes right into the contact, not afraid of contact, and finishes right there.
I'm looking at these numbers as Baylor comes down the floor. Little Paige Buggs only has 3 rebounds here this afternoon, leads the Big 12 in rebounding, but has not had many opportunities today.
Yaya Felder knocks down the triple from the left side.
Her second 3 ball of the game.
8 on the day for Felder off the bench. 69 points for the Bears. 4:50 to play, third quarter. Taylor picks up her dribble. Back outside to Ibarra.
Oh, nice execution by Utah Tech. That was a very, very great backdoor cut that time by Isaacson.
It's by Andrews, intended for Vonship banners hang in Foster Pavilion for Baylor men's and women's basketball. 3 by the women, 1 by the men.
Yeah, Baylor now in a zone defense. We don't see this very often, so Coach Nikki Collin and Tony Green working on a lot of things here this afternoon.
And a steal by Andrews, the breakaway, and the layup rolls off the rim, no good. Hartley the other way, leads the break. Ibarra's 3 is no good. Vonleh rebounds.
Oh, really a nice block out by Vonleh that time.
Wow, look at that pass up the floor. Andrews to Buggs for 2.
And I say it all the time, the most underrated part of Sarah's game is her passing. People talk about her three-point shooting, her scoring, but her passing is one of the best parts of her game.
Yeah, she just has great, great court vision. Very rarely misses an open teammate. And the key to that is she is very unselfish, as we saw a while ago on that 2-on-1 break with Little Paige Buggs.
Callan Dallas put up that 3, no good. Dallas off the bench, sophomore from Lubbock. Lubbock Cooper High School.
Dallas is one, funny saying Dallas is one of 2 Texans on this team.
Right, I know what you mean. Oh, Felder banks it in from the left side.
Yeah, Felder's third 3 ball of the afternoon.
He's got 11 on the day. 3 Baylor players in double figure scoring. And there's a 3. Answer by Utah Tech.
Yeah, Ellie Taylor coming back for Utah Tech. She started 10 of 11 in the season for Utah Tech Trailblazers.
Vonleh, little strong. Hartley, all the way. Shot swatted away by Buggs. I think, Jordan, you mentioned it earlier. Tony Green, associate head coach for Baylor. He really loves that defense, and he's got to be smiling. You said inside. He's got to be smiling outside today.
Yeah, he loves defense, but he loves to change his defenses. He likes to do adjustments. So he wants a team that can just have a defensive mindset that no matter what defense I'm telling you to play, you give it your all. Because sometimes you play zone and you kind of try to relax and just be in your area, but he wants his zone to be upbeat, up-tempo, and still get into players.
Well, he's got to be ecstatic. 8 blocked shots here for Baylor this afternoon, by far a season high.
His turnovers forced also. They've got taken a ton of turnovers away from Utah Tech. Right now standing at 24.
There's another block, 9th block of the game, second for Little Paige Buggs.
That ties the season high for block shots for Baylor with 9. Felder for 3. It's good. 4th made 3 by Yaya Felder. She's got 14 on the afternoon.
Well, looking like she did in the Bahamas in that tournament over Thanksgiving when she was voted first team all tournament.
Yaya just continuing, like you said, in the Bahamas, when she gets confident, when she's making shots, she cannot miss. She is a bucket getter right there. She just continues to show off her three-point range.
Well, of course, you remember Yaya Felder when she signed with Baylor. It was very highly publicized. She once had a 40-point outing as a scorer at the University of Ohio. So that young lady knows how to put it in the basket.
Caston Young off the Utah Tech bench. She is shooting free throws. Redshirt freshman. She's another Texan.
Yeah, I asked her before the game where Miko, Texas is. That's listed as her hometown.
Right.
I've never heard of that, but she said it was just outside of San Antonio.
Oh, interesting.
So
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
We've heard of a lot of Texas
Yeah,
towns,
yeah.
never heard of Miko. M-I-C-O. A good hustle there by Ellie Taylor. Knocks the ball out of bounds off Kyla Abraham. So the ball will stay with the Trailblazers. Down 77-25 to Baylor. Minute 41 to play, third quarter. Hartley, the pitch. Three, no good. Abraham, the rebound.
Well, a nice job by Abraham getting that long defensive rebound. Reacted very, very well.
Madison Bartley off the Baylor bench. A shot partially blocked from behind, but it's a foul. So Bartley will go to the free throw line for two.
Baylor continued to do a really nice job of recognizing players open in transition with the long passes, and that is a skill that is not easily taught, but this Baylor team does it quite well.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt at halftime either that Coach Collin went in there and asked her team to get the ball inside. They're obviously making threes at a high clip. They're getting the open looks, but like we talked about, this is the last game before Big 12 play, and you're going to need that inside presence going into that conference play.
I found it very interesting. You mentioned Coach Collin probably talked about getting it inside more. Baylor had 22 three-point attempts at the half, and their season average per game is just 20. So they had taken more threes than they normally take an entire game, but that's what the Utah Tech defense was giving them.
Beating the Trailblazers at their own game right now. Utah Tech second in the nation, averages 34 three-point attempts per game and averages 10.5 made threes per game.
Yeah, Baylor's made 12 three-point shots to only 4 for Utah Tech.
That was a bucket by Bartley, and then a couple of Baylor players down at the end of the play.
Well, it looked like.
Yeah, I think they ran into each other.
Yeah, I think so. Wow. It's Yaya Felder and Kyla Abraham.
Well, you can see Kyla Abraham already has that left hand of hers all taped up, and she is a big part of this Baylor offense and defense. Oh, yeah, you could see her backing up right there at the free throw line. Goodness gracious, looked like she got hit right in the mouth.
That is unfortunate. Kyla Abraham now a towel over her mouth.
Well, Baylor's very fortunate to have a trainer on staff like Chalisa Fonza. She's formerly worked in the WNBA and a great, great experience as a trainer. You know, that was just such a freak occurrence right there, backing up. And
yeah, one was backpedaling, one was running forward for the rebound just in case she did, and she got the worst of it.
Now, Kyla's played very, very well during her time on the court.
All right, walking slowly over to the Baylor bench is Kyla Abraham.
Baylor's played 9 players, and all 9 of them have scored so far here today, including Kyla Abraham.
Well, in that last bucket, give the assist to Yaya Felder and the bucket to Bartley. The assist is assist number 26 on the day. That ties the season high for Baylor in assists in a game. How about that? 26 assists on 30 made baskets.
Well, and what really makes that impressive is so much of this was against the zone defense.
Right,
and normally you don't see that many assists. Kyla Nelms on for Baylor now, the highly recruited freshman out of Miami, Florida. See Coach Tony Green, associate head coach Tony Green, and Jordan, you've talked several times today about how he loves defense. So you know better than any of us.
Yeah, he had a couple sessions with me, but I just tried. All I do is I just try to do what he said.
Oh, good. Tell us more about that, will you?
No, I want you to tell us more about that fact that you're the last Baylor player that's ever had a triple-double.
Oh,
I want to hear more about that.
Coach Green takes credit for that because I had 10 rebounds. He said I was a bad rebounding guard, but that game I was guarding a rebounder, so I had to make sure that she didn't get the rebound.
Yeah,
it's
if
West
I remember,
Virginia, right?
yeah, on the road, wasn't it? Yeah.
Baylor's going to hold the ball, play for the final shot of the third quarter here. Baylor up big on Utah Tech. Andrews, kick, Felder, three, no good. And the ball goes out of bounds, and that is the end of the third quarter. First end of.
But just being the chance to be around her and the way the coaches and her own teammates talk about her.
Well, Jana, very popular. I personally very fond of her. Always very friendly and conversant with us, and good to see her and her mom, Carol, sitting there. Had met her mom right after her surgery during the Thanksgiving holidays, and good to see them here smiling.
Wish her nothing but the best. To exemplify that award during the timeout, we had a camera on Jana following her. She got out of her seat. She's got the big brace on her left knee. Out of her seat, came down to check on Kyla Abraham and gave her a hug, and then went back to her seat. That sort of exemplifies Jana Van Geitenbeek right there. We are back to play. There's first possession of the fourth quarter. Comes away with no points.
Well, this is a good opportunity continuing here for Kyla Nelms, the freshman, 6'2", out of Miami, Florida. She was there for the block out on the defense. She and Madison Bartley will now be on the interior for the Bears.
Up 80-27 on Utah Tech as we start the fourth quarter. 26 turnovers now by Utah Tech. That's a season high forced by Baylor. Short jumper by Andrews off the mark.
Good transition defense continuing for Baylor here today. That was one of the points of emphasis in the scouting report. Get back quick so you can get out and cover their quick threes, and they've limited Utah Tech to a season low in three-point attempts, only 16 so far.
And you can see now they have Sarah playing the point guard when obviously she doesn't play the point guard as much when Jada's in, but now she's being asked to do that. And I think in Big 12 play with teams who press and pressure the ball a lot, you're going to need somebody else to relieve the ball.
How about that? Kyla Nelms, the freshman, stepping out in that right corner, drilling her first three-point shot of the game.
Nelms, a freshman from Miami, adds to the three parade today for Baylor. 83-27, a steal by Jennings. And the layup at the other end.
Beautiful job by Jennings, now moving into double-figure scoring, stepping into that passing lane.
Fourth Baylor player in double-figure scoring today.
Take a look at the freshman, Kyla Nelms. Baylor coaching staff talks often about what a good outside shot this 6'2" player has. That time showing us why their opinion is very accurate. Nice release on the ball by the freshman.
First three of Kayla's Baylor career. Historic three. Hartley shooting free throws.
Now Hartley, who averages 8 free throw attempts per game, now with 3 out of 4 on the afternoon here for the Trailblazers. Baylor's done a really nice job against her.
Offensive rebound by Nicole Willardson for Utah Tech.
Well, Baylor's quick hands defensively continue. Nice teamwork.
Hartley with that made free throw, 7 points today, 7 points, only 2 assists. She is she's first in the nation number of total assists and 8th in assists per game. Is that a behind the back pass?
Yeah, it looked like it was going to try to be.
Taken away by Utah Tech. Their ball taken out by Nelms. Three by Nelms, looking for her second made three. Not this time. Jordan, what's it like? You've probably been in games like this. You've got a big lead. You try to keep focus. You want to get everybody off the bench some playing time. What's it like?
Yeah, I've actually been on both sides of it. The winning side, obviously, being Baylor, you want your bench players to gain confidence. You want them to go out there and execute and show that they deserve minutes and opportunities. But on the other side, for Utah Tech, they obviously play in a league that's not the Big 12, so this is a challenge for them. So they can't judge their performance off the scoreboard. They have to judge it off the factors that they want to focus on and continue to finish the game regardless of the score.
A nice finish there by Crittenden again for the Trailblazers. She's a 39% three-point shooter. Got a nice drive to the bucket there.
And Crittenden draws the charge on Sarah Andrews at the other end. So a spark for Utah Tech here in the fourth quarter.
Well, just the 10th turnover of the game for Baylor versus 29 for Utah Tech.
Trailblazers, their 5th season at the Division I level. As of this season, you go through that ramp-up process. They're eligible for NCAA play in every sport this year.
How about that block by Jennings? I think that's the 10th block of the game, yes, for Baylor.
Well, she must feel like she's 6 foot against just 5'3", so
good
it might have been a
point.
little tempting right there.
Very good point, Jordan.
Felder to the bench. Jada Walker back on the floor for Baylor. It is the 10th block of the day for Baylor. Runner hits the side of the backboard. Sarah Andrews takes it the other way. Nelms a three, it's no good. And out of bounds over to Utah Tech.
Well, very obvious Kayla Nelms has the green light from the coaching staff. Want her to take that shot if she's open. She's strong in the paint and obviously a very good three-point shooter, as evidenced by that first attempt out of the right corner.
Three straight away, in and out by Emily Isaacson. And out of bounds off of Willardson, they say, so over to Baylor. With 5:53 to play, fourth quarter. So I guess these elementary students, they got to go back to school after this. They don't get the rest of the day off, do they?
Yeah, probably not. They're probably not excited to go back either. They want to stay here and play.
Right. They're not Jim Haller. They don't have the rest of the day off after this game.
Well, I'm only about 70 years older than most of them, so I deserve to have the rest of the day off.
There's another turnover, 30 on the day. Andrews, runner, finds the spot.
How about that floater? Sarah Andrews doing a terrific job today in all phases of the game, showing her leadership and her excellence on the floor.
He rattles out, Nelms the rebound. 11 points, 8 assists for Sarah Andrews, scaring a double-double here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Baylor has 5 players in double figures already. Vonleh with 9, not far behind. Jada Walker with 7.
Some subs off the Baylor bench. Nice to see Kyla Abraham back out there. She's still kind of flexing that jaw, her chin. Had the collision with Yaya Felder. Three, no good. Jennings the rebound for Baylor.
Yeah, nice block out by Jennings. She's really played well during her time on the floor here today. Former junior college All-American at Collin County Community College, just north of Dallas.
Yeah, let's take another look at this Sarah play. Just gets in the paint, simply shoots it right over the defense. Baylor is getting it done here today in Foster.
Really, really fun. And Marigold is here. Marigold's very popular with the young crowd and the old crowd alike. And what's not to like from a Baylor perspective today? Baylor up big on Utah Tech. Madison Bartley shooting free throws.
Madison Bartley now making Baylor 9 of 11 at the charity stripe today, way above their season average. Very impressive.
They heard you, Jim. They heard you saying they need to work on free
that's
throws.
Something definitely they need to continue, and it appears they definitely have.
Three-corner, no good by Young.
Well, that's a good defensive rebound by Kyla Abraham. Has that left hand all bandaged, and that was a good retrieval.
Jordan, were you a good free throw shooter? I don't remember.
I was early in my career. I don't know, something about coming to Baylor, it just went down. But I made them when it mattered.
There you go.
Maybe those Alabama rims were a little looser.
Maybe if I was playing in Foster, it would have been 90%.
Well, you had to be hitting them that night. You had that triple-double.
Three is blocked by
block
Abraham.
Of the game. How about that?
Wow.
New season high for Baylor, 11 blocks in one game.
Under 4 minutes to play. Baylor sitting at 91 points. They've been over 100 3 times and 98 once so far this year. Jada Walker thought about a three. Instead, mid-range jumper is good in the paint.
A perfect example of reading the defense. Came at her not under control, went right around them, got the easy floater in the paint.
Gets her to 9 points on the day for Jada Walker. Jim said earlier, everybody that's played has scored today for the Bears.
Yeah, that makes 10. There's 10 that are suited out and 10 have scored.
Pass ahead to Felder. Going to be a blocking foul charged on Emily Isaacson.
Yeah, Yaya Felder's had a nice game. 6 out of 11 on field goal attempts overall. 4 out of 9 on threes. 3 rebounds. How about 6 assists to go with the 16 points? Really nobody close to a double-double here today. Dariana Littlepage Buggs leads the Big 12 in double-doubles, leads the Big 12 in rebounding, but only 5 rebounds here today, and that's pretty easily explained. This Utah Tech team only has 44 field goal attempts, so really not much of an opportunity for anybody to get a scoring and rebounding double-double.
Couple of free throws by Yaya Felder. Nice free throw shooting day continues for the Bears, 86%. They're 12 of 14.
Yeah, Felder now the Bears' leading scorer today with 18 points. Littlepage Buggs with 16.
Just keeping that defensive intensity up, even in the latter stages of the fourth quarter.
A good example there why Hartley goes to the free throw line so often, takes it very effectively into the paint and not hesitant about taking the shot. This will be her 6th trip to the free throw line.
If you're talking about her 8 free throws, she might get there before the 2:30's up. She's taking advantage.
That's true.
Yeah, we talked earlier about this young lady being number 4 in the nation in total assists, and she only has 2 of those today, so that's another example of Baylor's defense.
Well, yeah, they haven't. I don't know if they've gotten enough shots up to even get her to her average of assists, because she's averaging almost 7.
Kayla Nelms on the baseline, dribbles out of there. Jada Walker around the screen of Abraham. Back to Nelms. 3 is short. Shot up and in by Abraham.
I'm just amazed she's able to go get those long rebounds with one hand all taped up. Nice job by Abraham on that offensive board.
Baylor at 97 points on the day with 1:37 to play.
Yeah, another forced turnover on Utah Tech. Take a look at Kyla Abraham going after this board on the shot attempt by Jada Walker. A nice job, nice soft touch, putting it back up quickly.
Abraham On the baseline, spun out of there, but traveled in the process. Turnover, Baylor.
A good move, just drug that pivot foot as she spun back into the paint area.
Utah Tech's a little spent right now. It's a 12-1 run by Baylor over the last 4 minutes. Isaacson in the paint, banks it home.
Oh, nice job. Isaacson, really a versatile player. She's only 5 shy of the career record threes made at Utah Tech.
Nelms for 3, it's no good. Abraham, the rebound, and his foul.
Baylor is really trying to get to this 100-point mark again, and I think the kids are encouraging. So every time they get the ball, an open look from 3, it's like everyone's just waiting for it to go through.
Yeah, going back to that last basket for Utah Tech, brag on Isaacson a little bit. She's 4th in career blocks for the Trailblazers, 5th in career rebounds. So a very, very versatile player to consider. She comes into today's game only 5 away from the school record on threes.
Wow.
So she does a lot of things well.
Well, she just fouled out her 5th foul. 53.3 seconds to go.
Baylor now 12 of 15 at the charity stripe.
Couple of misses at the line. What has been a very good day shooting free throws. Crittenden missed on the layup. And a whistle will stop play.
Trailblazers showing good ability there in transition, beating Baylor down the floor. Baylor's really been good in transition defense today, but not that time.
That was on Kayla Nelms. That's her first.
Well, there we go. You said a while ago, Jordan, she's probably going to get to that season average. 8th in the nation in free throws.
Yeah, she knows how to get there. She knows how to play off 2 feet. She obviously was struggling early with the size and height, but she's relentless in getting there and trying to get to the free throw line.
Free throw is good, gets them to 34 points. This is a big free throw coming up. All-time fewest points scored by Utah Tech in a game is 35. It's all-time. Then against Oregon, November of 2022. She missed the free throw, so they're sitting at 34 points right now.
Well, we talked about Hartley only having 2 assists today. She had 12 a week ago against Weber State. She had 14 points and 10 assists against Colorado.
Wow.
The future Baylor Big 12 opponent here.
Hartley's 3 rims out, couple of bounces on the rim.
Yeah, all she can do right there is smile. It just hasn't been their day today. They haven't been able to make any easy shots, hard shots, but they'll go home with some encouragement going into that conference play.
No question. You learn from every game. This one's going to be a Baylor win and bring on the Big 12. Baylor finishes this non-conference portion of their schedule with a dominating 97-34 win over Utah Tech. Here's Willow.